Go Beaver! Away!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chriscast. We have some Highlander action for you tonight. We're entering the latter stages of the most recent UGC season. It is season 34, and this is the Platinum Semi-Final of the European Highlander Division. And there's some familiar names. You'll be seeing teams and players, of course. Defending champions Super Dickmann's KANNONEN. SDCK will be playing in one corner. Facing them will be Oppai. Maybe not a name you've heard from TF2, but there will be definitely some faces you will recognize on the lineup. And the winner will be going through to the grand final, which we'll be covering next week over on Chriscast. As always, you can also support us by subbing on Twitch or by donating to our Patreon. All of that money goes towards supporting the production and casting staff. You can also support us by buying some of the cool merch. Merch.critscast.com. I'm CeeJaey, and I'm joined by Dave. And we can take a look at the map, kind of decisions here, the map choices. First map is Asheville, and that was picked by SDCK after the ban process. And then Lakeside was picked by Oppai. So two Koth maps coming straight out the gates. The final map, actually, the deciding map was Swiftwater. So if we do go to a third map, that'll be a best of one on Swiftwater, which is not a map played very much in Europe. So it'll be interesting to see if it goes that far. We are going live now with our first map of this Platinum Semi-Final. This is the UGC European Highlander Division, Season 34, SDCK in the blue, up against Oppai in the red. And we'll have to see what happens here with the demos arriving. SDCK rolling out on the high ground, whereas Oppai on the low ground. So both teams going head-to-head straight away. Just kind of playing a little bit passive here. No one's died yet. Some damage being thrown around. Eventually, Proki is going to be the first casualty. Sniper down for Super Dickmann's. Unforgiven is going to get cleaned up, but no major headway made by either team. Jackie trying to get behind. Karik surfing through the air, and Dwarf King is now going to be counter jumping. Murphy finally goes down to neutral a headshot, and now we start to see, in fact, Oppai winning this mid-fight, but Poska is going to be taking some of the heals, walking forward, stops that cap going down, and this is still a mid-fight, Dave.
Yeah, a little bit of fear shown from Oppai. Uber does come out. It looks like it's going to be a much better trade for SDCK. Poker going forward. He has actually run out of ammo. He's having to pick up ammo in the middle of this Uber trade. And that's allowing Devi to pressure forward, getting lots of stickies and pipes down. Viljak is going to run in. He ignores the medic, but he does get the sniper Nutricola out of the game. But so far, neither team has come in with a cap. Jackie Legs going for a bomb onto Matt J, who somehow escapes, not completely aware of what is happening. But Jackie Legs in again from behind, and he does pick Matt J up.
That's huge, and then you can see now the collapse happens. Big jumping in from Wiethoofd. Doesn't manage to get anything of value, and Jackie Legs trading his life for pretty much everything there. You know, gets the medic kill, gets just this distraction of going in behind. Nice little cheeky headshot there from Nutricola. He does dive and kills Poska. After we see if he actually gets up in time. Technically, this is still the mid-fight, so his spawn isn't actually going to be changed. So not that big of a deal, but kind of varying on one of the longer mid-fights I've ever seen. In a Koth map. I think the longest I ever saw involved SDCK as well. I think that was on Warm Tick. So maybe they have a penchant for taking these things a little bit longer. But we can see the high ground now. Oppai starting to walk forward. Jorge on 100% with that big Uber advantage. It's about 40%. Matt J in brackets not throwing. Is starting to move forward. And Nutricola has been hitting these headshots against Murphy. No Devil Man to stop this point. And then Wiethoofd is just air blasting people away. Decent amount of cap time. And they force the Uber here, Dave. Matt J getting away with his life.
Oh, but Jackie Legs is going to bomb in. Can someone find the final frag? Viljak is running in. Majay's still somehow surviving, but there's just too many players swarming around him. I think it was Clark ended up getting the frag. He is going to throw out a taunt. And, you know, it looked really good for Oppai briefly, but Majay just did not have enough players around him and wasn't out of there quite quickly enough.
Clark of the season, with the gun taking out the medic, with the fists taking out the demo. Worthy of a taunt, but in the meantime, there was a backstab from Unforgiven. Did manage to take down Jorge, so Uber's pretty much equal. In fact, a little bit of an advantage there for Majay, about 10%. Nothing really to write home about. It does mean that with the heals in position and the kills coming in, Unforgiven getting a couple, Proki and Viljak both going down. Vclox is going to take down Jackie Legs, and they're actually cleaning up big time there. Majay goes down, which is the big sort of stain on that push there, Dave, because everything was looking really good for them.
Yeah, at the moment, Oppai are, they're doing well when they're fighting on the point. Nutricolo is getting a lot of space, doing a lot of work, hitting a lot of headshots, but they just can't control Jackie Legs at the moment. He's jumping over this right-hand roof from his perspective, time and time again, going in, looking to go behind, getting the pack when he needs, baiting, and then coming in and cleaning up Matt J at the end of the fights. And again, he jumps in, gets a beautiful rocket onto Matt J, who's down again, and there's only a few gamers up now for Oppai.
Yeah, they're going to recapture this with barely any time gone on. The amount of kills they got there. Yahoo getting the reflect kill onto V-Clocks and then the reserve shooter kill. Getting absolutely beastly kill streaks. He's got more points than anyone else in the server at the moment. SDCK in control again. They have control of the point. They have their players up. They have 100% Uber. Proki does take down Nutricolo. He took down Yahoo. But Proki is going to stop that sniper spree in its tracks early on. And you can just see like Jackie Legs jumping in here, smells blood in the water, gets a decent amount of damage, will die, but that just stopped Karma Oppai. They can't even get out. They just don't have space to work with right now.
Yeah, they do get a pick onto Poker on the point, so there's a little bit more space, but they've traded a lot from Matt J going down so weak again, just about juking and diving away from those pipes, but the Uber is going to come in and Matt J is again caught in not the best position. Murphy flooding in behind. Matt J will survive this time. Sat in the dispenser, lots of players around him now, but while this has all been going on, Oppai, they really haven't been able to get an Uber up as they would have wanted. This is going to be the first time they've come up to Uber in a while, and we'll see how they want to take it in.
Yeah, they've used it very early. Davey's going to take that flash, jump in, a lot of damage. Jorge gets taken down in the end. I think it was a stray flame from V-Clocks that gets it, but that's the only major kill they've got. They're just getting absolutely crushed here. 2 players left alive. It's Py-bun and Nutricolo. One of them goes down, and SDCK win it. They had to Uber in there and get value out of the Uber, but also get cab time. And because of that separation, SDCK just collapsed on the un-Uber players and completely slaughtered them. First round to SDCK. Karma Oppai with a bit of work to do here.
Yeah, very well, nice executed Uber from Karma Oppai, but the collapse post Uber was so impressive from SDCK. Jackie Legs again with an absolute nuke on the point. But, again, we see a mid-fight. SDCK rolling out to bats, a little cautious, not getting much pressure. Poker going to be the one guy going under. Jackie Legs coming in, getting some damage down on the point. Matt J goes quite weak, but there's still decent position with all their players on the heels here for Karma Oppai.
Yeah, Jackie Legs jumped in, and so did Murphy. Everyone wanted Magic. Magic has just been the focus of all the attention. He did really well to survive there. And it ends up with Karma Oppai having pretty much the advantage here. They've got their players on top of the point. They've got the cap. SDCK, they have an Uber, but they're not in a great position to fight here. They use it early on. Dave gets dropped out of the Uber as it's used much earlier on. Davey now has a lot of work to do to try and make this Uber come out strong for them. Cuba is going to clean up one, but Viljack has also taken down Dwap King, and it's all kind of falling apart here for Karma Oppai. They've got 2 players left alive. SDCK, after being in a precarious situation there, underneath the point, not in control of the point, managed to just completely win that Uber exchange.
Yeah, they got obviously they killed Leaf before the Uber, and when you get rid of that heavy, that means the post Uber is going to be a lot better, because while there was a decent Uber out of Karma Oppai in terms of they got a lot of damage down with their demo and their scout, neither of those players were loaded, and it allowed Murphy just to waltz over the point at the tail end of the Uber, clean up Matt J and get crucial frags onto the combo.
Yeah, not seeing very many heavy exchange Ubers these days, but that was one of them there. But Jorge again in a position where he has an Uber advantage. Okay, Curse of the Caster strikes. Unforgiven with the backstab does take down Jorge as he was just getting closer and closer to Uber there. He's about 90%, gets taken down. He was just shanking the dispenser and nobody else dealt with it. So that happened. That means Majay now has an Uber advantage. A rare thing so far in this game for Karma Oppai, but if they could do something similar to it before and not die on the point, it's not really much pressure right now. Only about 20 seconds behind. They've used it through Shutter. They're trying to get in V-Clocks using that jetpack he's so well known for doing, but he can't find anyone in lobby. There has been an absolute rotation here, Dave, and SDCK now find themselves on the high ground.
Yeah, a little bit of a panic Uber there, I feel, from Oppai. They didn't really have good information on where anyone really was from SDCK and had no eyes on Jorge at all. Legs again going in for a bomb, and MatchJ goes down to just a straight pipe fight over the top from Murphy. So they're going to have to feed in Devi going in deep. Vclox is in with the jetpack, and they do clean up Jorge, but so many frags traded in the favour of SDCK. They are going to be able to just use their blob of players to walk back onto the point. And, you know, the time advantage for SDCK is not huge, and the Ubers are pretty even as well.
Yeah, Ubers are pretty even. I mean, actually, wow, Nitro Cooler has been popping off here. He gets another kill onto Murphy. Finally gets taken down by Viljack, who's just being that annoying little wasp buzzing around behind. And it does feel like coming up, they just want to try and take this. They haven't been winning the sort of the team fights when the Ubers aren't involved. But this time around, it does look like they're going to get the cap, but no, the collapse comes in. Guy going to take down Dwab King. Poroki on a 3-kill streak manages to really cement things there, and both teams playing very passive, but I think SDCK just going to walk on the point. They've got the better respawns. When you're not in control of the point, your respawns are much faster. This has been a much closer round though.
Yeah, SDCK just taking their time a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what they're waiting for. Devi has actually been able to spawn. But now we see Jackie Legs coming in towards the point. But yeah, SDCK, they really just didn't go for the point at all when they had a lot of picks. They could have taken the point pretty much for free, decided not to go for it, and now suddenly higher in a time lead.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying there. I don't really understand why the hesitation was coming in from SDCK. They've been pretty confident in the team fight so far, and things are starting to go a bit iffy here. They've exchanged Uber, but it's a much worse Uber, 30% advantage in terms of the actual Uber for Kami or Oppai. And SDCK realized this, they just retreat back to the safety of the lobby. And at the moment, equal Ubers in control of the point. Kami and Oppai are happy to just try and soak up a little bit of pressure. SDCK trying to do something, but Unforgiven gets the kill onto Prokeys. There's not going to be any opening picks. Rapking trying to get some of the aggression here, gets a lot of damage down. And at the moment, it's Meza who steps up to try and save the day. Dave again gets the backstab onto MatchJ.
Vclox going in, something juggled up, gets a lot of damage down onto Jorge, but he will sneak out of there, picks up a health back. But while all this is happening, SDCK have not got the point whatsoever. They have engineered themselves an Uber advantage now, but it's perhaps going to go down into overtime for Kami Oppai, and Unforgiven comes in and picks up Jorge in the background. Everyone was focused forward, looking towards the point, but they weren't looking for that sneaky spy in the backlines.
I was going to commend them because that was just the most patience. They didn't rush, they didn't panic, they knew how much time was left, but they knew that they had players. They were just clearing the corners. All right, now we can get on the point. We have 100% Uber and we can see out the last minute, but that huge backstab from Unforgiven is just totally flipped things on its head. It's just going to come down to a DM fight right now. MatchJ about 60%. A lot of players dead here for SDCK. They're going to have to really frag out. They are losing some people. MatchJ is actually running the crits here. So if he's going to get that, he's at 85%. They're all over the point here, Dave. And it's actually going to go to Kami Oppai. 1-1.
Yeah, well played round. You know, I wouldn't say they blitzed SDCK in terms of winning all these team fights, but they traded well in the team fights, and they honestly, they just looked a little bit smart, and they just sort of outplayed them. SDCK looked a bit unsure of themselves when to go forward, when to get cap time. We see Murphy just get instantly nuked by Devi on the point. Devi catches him out, and now there's going to be no demo man for the fight. Devi is allowed to pressure forward. He's going to have to fight Viljack, but with no demo in the mid fight, it's really in Kami Oppai's favour. But suddenly they're losing everyone.
Mezzo just takes out a third of the team. He gets 3 kills. He gets a couple of backstabs on, but he gets Cuba and he gets Leif, and then he misses a shank, and then he's like, you know what? I'm just going to get my pistol out, and he gets the demo as well. So scout heavy demo coming in from your spy, massive value. And this is what we talk about. You know, in those team fights, you can have the coordination, you can have the synergy, and obviously a team like SDCK has been around together for so long, they have that in spades. But when things start to go a little bit pear-shaped, Kami Oppai were winning that mid-fight. Sometimes you have a player who steps up to the plate and comes up with a huge individual play, and Mezzo was that player just there. And SDCK looking a little bit more stable now, but it is equal Ubers, and Kami Oppai sort of positing to move forward here. Murphy gets taken down again.
Yeah, they're actually going to trade Ubers out of here. Vclox get a lot of space, knocking a poker back. They've got Murphy as well, so the post-Uber situation is potentially better for Oppai. Meso is going to get cleaned up, going for a little bit of a greedy sap here, and a lot of players down for SDCK. Nutricula picking up Yahoo as well, so it's Poker alone is going to have to fight it against just a swarm of players on the point, and cap time is eventually going to come in. In fact, they've fed a lot of players, picked up that chase somehow.
Yeah, it was Jackie Legs who manages to get that kill, and because of that kill, they've delayed a little bit of time. So they bought themselves like 10 seconds or so. It does mean that Jorge now has an Uber advantage. They're going to be able to get themselves into position with buffs because they had, coming up, I did the sensible thing of just waiting until their med spawn so they didn't get the delayed spawn when they capped. But that does mean it's exactly what SDCK wanted, 30% advantage. They're on the high ground right now, getting ready to maybe push across and get some pressure down. But it's just, again, a big individual play, this time coming in from Jackie Legs, that manages to get it. And Proki's going to open things up. Davey getting taken down. Nutricula, though, on a 5-kill streak, will take down Proki. There's going to be a scout soldier Uber here. Is this sixes? Viljak and Jackie Legs taking the meat of that charge, just trying to get some kills. They managed to get a couple, but they don't get Matt-J, who's run all the way back to spawn.
Yeah, good Uber counter there from Matt-J, knowing, exactly where the Ubers were when SDCK came up on that Uber. He was nice and far back. And he's not as protected as he'd like to be, as Viljak is able to just run in the transition. Beautiful little timing from him, holds W, picks up Matt-J, and as well played as that was for the last 30 seconds, they've kind of just thrown it all away.
Just has to press W, and you know what? You happily trade your life for a medic in that situation. Viethoofd is going to use the jetpack, just goes around, gets him behind. He's a flanking pirate, but will get taken down. Things looking a little bit worse this time around for Kami Oppai. Winning a round and then having that really strong opening to a mid-fight. At the moment, SDCK just kind of blobbing up, getting their players into a position. They have 100% Uber. Yahoo and Clark just doing a grand job. Yeah, Clark's getting aggressive now, and they are going to take down Magic. Just the aggression, just synchronized from everyone going forward at the same time. We'll just clean them up. I was saying they were just chilling there, Dave. They're just keeping Hawaii alive, but then they see that they've got a few kills, and they say, let's pressure and get some more. And they get the cleanup, and now the advantage is even bigger.
Yeah, I have to call out that is quite a big play from Oppai. They had lost some gamers, they had lost their flank. They just stuck around on that low ground for too long, had absolutely no control of that roof. Clark was able to get onto their backs behind. Meso is going to go in and pick up Matt-J, pick up Leaf as well, but they do at least get the foresight. That is a little bit of a saving grace. Devi is probably going to get chased under the point by Viljak, and Viljak does clean up that frag. So yeah, 10 seconds left. Kami Oppai are going to have to take this in dry very soon.
Viljak currently on 4 dominations, so not doing too bad, and Meso outscoring everybody on the server. When that's happening, you feel like your players are having a good day. But as it stands, I was going to say Kami Oppai clawing their way back into this round, but Proki, the clutch headshot, is going to take down Matt-J, and that's 3 down now, including their healer for Kami Oppai. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to hold on to this, but they have to try. Jorge approaching full Uber. They're probably going to wait here at SDCK and just, make sure that they can just clinically finish this off. Jorge, though, getting pressured, down to 50 HP. We're going to need another drop here, I feel, Dave. It's not going to come.
It's not going to come. The Uber is coming in. Viljak and Murphy again. There's no target for them. A little bit of a launch there. Yahoo is going to go down to Creek with a nice frag. Leaf going down as well. The frags are probably traded here in the favour of Kami Oppai, but with them having the point, the spawns are not going to be too great for them. The good news for them is they have kept Matt-J alive so far. At the moment, he's kind of walking around the middle of the point. There's no sniper that he has to worry about though, so they're looking to get towards this Uber now. 67% up for him, but not enough gamers that he would like fighting the point. Just the engineer and the pyro. Vcox and Karika are both going to go down. Cubone is going to have to go in. Dwapking made some space, picking up Jorge and Yahoo, and now it's going to be a heavy 1v1 on the point, which Poker will win without heals in fact, but the Uber does this time come out for Kami Oppai. They've got lots and lots of frags, and they still have control of the point.
That was huge from Dwab King. He gets 4 kills with that bomb. He lands on the point and just nukes everybody around him. Gets 4 kills. That's nearly half of a Highlander team just taken out with a few rockets. That was absolutely huge, and it's actually made it into a really close exchange here. SDCK need to get onto the point. They've lost Polska, but Wiethoofd and Nutricola fall down, and it actually looks like Oppai getting back into this. They're getting more kills. They have to stop the cap though. If SDCK cap is all over, Creek tries to get onto the point. Lane does get the kill. There's only 2 players left alive for SDCK in 10 seconds. They've got the respawners. The respawners are going to have to jump on the point. Davy's there with the heals. Mezzo is lurking. Cuba is way too aware of it. Will take him down. It's going to go down, but there's so much cap time. The Stickies will take down Viljak. Polska's starting to walk forward with the heals, but the Uber comes out from Oppai. They're going to take down Polska. Murphy's jumped behind. He's on the point. He's trying to get the cap time. Yahoo's pushing away, but Dwab King comes in again. Gets a ton of damage. The crits coming out onto Clark. He can't. No, Jackie Legs is going to get the kills this time. He gets Dwab King. Proki's going to kill down Karik. It's about 4v4 right now. SDCK just need to cap onto the point. Oppai just need to hold on for a little bit longer, but it does look like he's going to go the way of the champions. Just a little bit longer. Unforgiven can't get there, and it will go this round to SDCK.
Well, naysayers, I'm afraid you're wrong. We certainly have a game here. Oppai really doing their best, taking it right down to the wire in that round. It's now 2-1 to SDCK. But yeah, very, very well fought so far. It is now map point for SDCK. If they do win this round, they will win this first map. But so far, neither team really committing too much on this mid-fight yet again.
Yeah, not to disrespect anybody, but I'm sure Oppai were coming into this just saying, you know, well, let's just give it our best shot. Nobody's expecting us to win. Let's have some fun and, you know, maybe do some damage. But they've been pushing it really, really hard. They're winning the second round and going to double overtime on the third. You know, maybe got a bit between their teeth now, a little bit of confidence brewing. They'll start thinking, okay, let's just keep playing like this and maybe there's something in it for us. At the moment, though, SDCK are winning this round fairly comfortably. They got the cap. They have themselves in a decent position, but CeeJaey is on 100% as well. Have to see what they're going to decide to do with this Uber. Maybe try and break down this hole.
Yeah, the point has come down for SDCK fairly cheaply, really. I don't think they really got as many frags as you would expect to really win a mid-fight. And with both the pick classes going down for Oppai, it looks like they're not really sure what they want to get going. It is going to be a sack by Wiethoofd and Devi going in really deep. They get a lot of damage down onto Jorge, and in fact Wiethoofd is able to get the force out. Murphy now jumping very deep, searching for that medic. They can only find Leaf, and CeeJaey I think is going to be really, really far back in score with 100%.
Yeah, that's the sensible thing to do. I was going to ask you, Dave, actually, do you think you were going to see some sack waves at any point? Because we've not really seen them much. We've just kind of seen teams going in for an exchange and just fighting the DM battles. But seeing the sack wave come in, it was successful. Jorge actually dying later on. So, you know, 100% for CeeJaey, no heals for SDCK. This is the best chance Oppai have of getting some time on this round, because half the time has already gone down. V-Clock's on a 4K, just grilling everybody in his sight. Managing to get a few kills for his logs there. But at the moment, SDCK will be pretty happy with what's going on. They're set up. They have their players in position. You know, they don't have Uber, but at the moment, they're not under much pressure.
Yeah, Viljak came in with a drive-by onto Devi, and obviously with no demo man, Oppai are not sure how they want to take this Uber. CeeJaey is in fact stuck on the left-hand side, kind of awkwardly with just a heavy, with just a soldier. He now has Devi, the demo man, along with him. Porky is going to get caught out in a bad position, and that is going to be the only frag that they get. Now they're going to pressure in again. Poker just laying down damage from this shutter area, and it was Jackie Legs once more going in for a big bomb onto CeeJaey. Lots of frags traded in both sides. Jorge looking to sneak out. Cuban is going to run in. Will he find it? He does find the frag. So that is a great salvage from him.
Yeah, Viljak getting the back kill, but not quick enough to save his medic. You just see the timing and the synergy there. As soon as the Uber was over from Oppai, Jackie Legs launches forward. He's like that spear leading the attack, gets straight onto CeeJaey, and there's just no protection on him at that time. Gets the medic down, and then the DM fight happens. And despite everything that went on there, Jorge dying, and it looked not too bad. Oppai, they have about 10 seconds to get this cap down. SDCK will be happy to let it go down, knowing it's really just going to take one team fight victory to get them back in and just seal out this map.
Yeah, Dickmann did find a nice little frag onto Murphy, it was actually before that fight came in, so they didn't have to worry about any of that spam coming down on the point, and were able to take it relatively cleanly. Only Jackie Legs finding one frag with a big bomb, he was cleaned up eventually as well. Poker is now getting quite aggressive. They've committed everyone down into this low ground once more. Cubo just peppering them from on the high ground, getting Jorge really, really low, and they're going to have to run all the way back onto their bats. But while that is happening, Mezzo is just finding a way in the backlines, reversed through the toxic area, and picks up MattJay, so there's going to be no heals. A little bit of a BM Uber coming out of SDCK. Cubone being the only guy able to walk towards the point to try and block, but eventually that SDCK combo is just going to be able to cap it up, and they do take the map 3-1.
We've got some logs so we can take a look at the stats, but it was closer than we thought, Dave, right? We were expecting pretty one-sided, but Oppai got a round, potentially could have got two.
Yeah, for sure. I think if that third round had gone differently, we could have very much been talking about a different game, but a little bit of a tragic end on that massive, long overtime round. And I think that perhaps just demoralised them a little bit for that third round. We're going into a different map now. It is going to be Lakeside. It is King of the Hill once more. But it's perhaps a map that neither of these teams will be as familiar on, which I think is a little bit of an advantage for Oppai being kind of the mixed team.
Yeah, I mean, Lakeside's been around for a long, long time. So, it's been around almost as long as Chriscast, who recently got their Twitch partnership. So if you want to support what you're seeing, guys, don't be afraid to drop a cheeky Twitch sub to support the production and casters who are bringing you this action. I mean, if SDCK win this map, it's going to be the same scoring system as before, first to 3. Then they'll be going through to the grand final next week to try and defend their UGC Platinum title. Oppai have to win this map to force it to a third. The deciding map would be Swiftwater if Oppai can actually win this map. It is their map choice. They lost 3-1 on the first one. It was closer than me and Dave thought, so who knows what will be in store for us here. We'll have to see what Lakeside brings us. We are going live now onto our second map of this UGC European Highlander Season 34 Platinum Semi-Final. SDCK have now switched colours. They're in the red with Oppai in the blue. This is Oppai's map choice. Murphy so fast to mid there, throwing out some damage on the players coming out of the entrance there. Trying to get as much as they can done. Jackie Legs flying through the sky as his Map King, getting onto their opponent's bats there, just trying to get behind and be a bit of a distraction, but kind of a passive and pensive mid-fight here.
Jackie Legs just destroyed Cubone in the back. Cubone went back for him after that big bump, but gets completely destroyed with an air shot. Cubone, not sure if that was shown on stream or not. But yeah, while this has all happened, SDCK have taken that space. Jackie Legs still alive, just raiding the roost, spamming down rockets, trying to pick up Dickmann, who's gonna probably just about escape. But the cap does come in for SDCK, but Oppai can at least have the little bit of a positive that they do have this Uber stuff.
You know when in video games with stamina and the player starts panting when they're low on stamina? That's how I feel as a medic when I'm running away from a bad mid-fight and I'm low on HP, which is what MattJay was there. I was just thinking, oh please, just let me get back to spawn with my charge, please. But he does manage to do that, and like you said, it is equal Ubers, and SDCK here opting for the pool defense, just sitting inside, making sure their sniper has a decent sight line. And the big downside of this defense, and it was always the way back when this map was first played in Highlander, is the fact that you can just position your sniper to take pot shots as well. And you can do this, just take your demo in for a solo Uber, spread that damage around, which is exactly what Davey does. The Uber comes in. Murphy, though, manages to get a ton of damage down, taking down sentries, taking down Leif. It does look better for SDCK here, but the players are starting to get a little bit more spread out.
Yeah, I think a big part of going this far left. Oh no, we're gonna have to see a 1v1 between Mez and MattJay. MattJay will win it, but he is stuck in a corner at the moment. Is there going to be a player to come in and finish him up? Jackie Legs is in position, can't find the final rocket that he needs, and MattJay sneaks out of there with a sliver of health and eventually is healed up by that sandwich.
he's living a risky life right now, Matt, but these Uber souls, I mean, massive Uber does get forced here, but the Uber is going to be used. Jorge only at 70%, nowhere near close. They're going to want to have to do something here. They're trying to get the cap down, but SDCK will know that as long as they can keep Jorge alive, they can re-push with it once they get the chance. Actually still defending it. Viljack and Clark just shooting pot shots across the point. JackeyLegs with the big bomb now. He's trying to get some damage done, and in fact, Oppai didn't get the cap down, and now Jorge with the full charge. He's even going to flash the engineer. Clark comes in, wants a piece of the action, gets 4, gets 5. Kill streak. Jorge serves the rocket in the air, but he does crater in the end. V-Clock's getting credit for that kill, but that is absolutely astoundingly one-sided team fight in the favor of SDCK.
Yeah, Oppai had no idea what was happening there. They hadn't clocked on to the fact that SDCK had rotated back behind the point. They weren't sure, they weren't aware of the Uber advantage that SDCK had brought up, and well played from SDCK, just pulling out the rotation, flooding across the point and picking up all the frags. Beautiful little DM as well as strategy, and they just clean up absolutely everyone. And Oppai caught cold so far this round.
Yeah, there were moments where it looked like they had a decent chance. They do have a chance here, but they need to get players on the point. They need to keep this cap point alive, and SDCK aren't allowing them to do that. Magic getting that 100%, but the crits isn't enough to sort of seal it out there. And that's it. SDCK winning kind of a whitewash of a round, not allowing the cap to go down for Oppai. And things looking very, very favorable for the defending champions, trying to get into this final. Viljack being very aggressive, just not allowing Davey the time and space. Moving with JackeyLegs to take pool room now. Nutricula is going to be the one under pressure. He's got no one there to help him. And that is just players you don't want to give up that early on in the fight.
Yeah, they haven't got as much pressure as they would have liked across the point here, Oppai. They haven't got into the SDCK combo at all, and it's going to be quite easy for the flank of SDCK just to run in, clean up, most of the flanks. They didn't go super deep. They weren't able to pick up Matt J that time, but they were able to pick up everyone else that they needed, and they have taken control of the point. Everyone's nice enough. JackeyLegs going for a big bomb. He's just scouting out a little bit. He's going to jump back now towards the point. But yeah, really, Oppai thus far haven't really been able to get like a staging post going. We have to see SDCK's put. Oh no! Porky picks up Matt J with the snipe. That is going to be a drop, I believe.
That's the strength of that pool room hold, is that if you want to play on the far side like Oppai are doing, you have that sideline, and Proki just there with the shot, managing to get the drop, and it's back to square one now, and it's kind of deja vu of the first round. Super Dickmann's in this pool hold, very comfortable, and Mezzo, oh no, Magic gets taken down in quick succession. And Oppai again have to go back to the drawing board. They have to think, what are we going to do here? How are we going to change things up? People are just getting picked off, and if you keep losing your medic like this, Jorge's been starting 100% for a while now, Dave. He's just chilling. He's happy to just sit and wait and soak up the pressure.
And yeah, one of the big advantages of this pool hold is when you have this advantage, it's difficult to sack up. They're actually going to just pop the Uber out. Viljack has seen something, he wants to go forward. They are going to be able to get onto Matt J. In fact, Viljack does get burnt down by V-Clocks. Leaf trying to get aggressive on the point will get picked up by the snipe, so that's going to stop the cap time coming in for Oppai. But SDCK are not quite in the position that they would want to be. Everyone's a little bit scattered, and it's only Poker at the moment fighting along the point. It's actually joined by JackeyLegs, so it's just slowed down a little bit here.
This is the thing, they send JackeyLegs in for a bomb just to get some pressure on. Dwapkins jumped in behind, but he jumps in, takes a little bit of space, and everyone starts peeking and trying to get some damage, but huge sticks here from Davey. Takes down Posca. Murphy is going to jump in behind, but gets taken out in midair by that anti-aircraft gun of Leif. And now it's all about who's going to win this scrappy post-cap fight. Oppai have got the cap down for the first time on this map. Starting to chip off a little bit of time, but equal hoopers now, and it's going to be used by Oppai. They're going to get in, and Jorge gets backstabbed before getting to use his Uber.
That was a big play, very, very well coordinated. Jorge was looking to milk that Uber, as it came out on the other side, but very well played by Unforgiven. Just cleaning that up. CeeJaey has gone down in the meantime, so, you know, while it did look briefly very, very good for Oppai, the post-Uber fight once more from SDCK has been super impressive, and they are going to have quite a chunky Uber advantage as well as a short player advantage where they're going to be able to pressure onto the cap right now.
That med pick on CeeJaey came because JackeyLegs was like sat on top of the pillar. You know, the pillars next to the point. He was just
Obelisk.
sat on top. Yeah, the obelisk. He was just waiting. He was just looking down, and then when the Ubers were over, he just plopped down and got the medic kill. Nobody was looking up, and because of that, SDCK now managing to get control of the point with about 50% Uber out here. Oppai can't wait until they get Uber. Dwapking's going to jump in behind, be a bit of a distraction. They have to take a fight, but with that charge now in his hands, it's going to have to be another drop if they want to get onto it. Oh, Dwapking actually gets the force onto Jorge, but CeeJaey gets taken down in the Uber. It's just an absolute collapse here. They don't have players up, and it's an entire team wipe with 10 seconds left on the board. I don't think they're going to have players to get to the point in time before it finishes.
Again, Oppai just, you know, they did very well on the previous map, countered their Ubers. This map, they've been caught out a couple of times. Perhaps that time you can say that, you know, they had to commit. You know, the time was running out for them, but it's such a long way on this map for, you know, the medic to escape any kind of aggressive Uber advantage coming in from the opposition. You have to be really on your heels, back nice and far, and so far CeeJaey has not been in the right position.
Yeah, CeeJaey taking a pipe as soon as he walked out the doors there, so already under pressure. 2 players down for Oppai. Make that 3. Karik is also very weak. He will get finished off, and they just don't have the presence on the point. There's just too many players going into different avenues. You know, JackeyLegs jumping in behind, Viljack getting aggressive across the point. You know, people just shooting the game is trying to cap. It's just very difficult for them to find an opening, and Nutricula, who was doing so well on the first map where he was getting kills, is just not getting the protection this time around, and it's not working out well for them. But they do have an Uber. They've been doing decently well in keeping CeeJaey alive in these situations, but last time, Dave, he dropped when they were trying to pressure the point, and they can't allow that to happen again.
And unfortunately, they have that. Was that from Pool Room? That must have been a crazy little sideline from Porky. Must have been threading the needle just between the kind of main battlements, peeking out from that Pool Room, just not aware of it. Uber is going to come out from Jorge. He's going to take a lot of damage, chase really deep with Viljack going in behind, but actually deciding he doesn't want any more of that. Going to back out. And SDCK at this moment are in complete control.
Yeah, very comfortable. They've got a minute off the clock already. Oppai obviously yet to cap so far. They'll have to see what happens here. Kills being traded. Clark and Murphy both going down. Keybone and Dwapking in. Oh, Davey though is going to get the pipes onto Jorge, and it's just happening all over the place. JackeyLegs and Yahoo are somehow behind in spawn. Oppai have now got Pool Room. I don't know what happened there, Dave.
Mess up! What? He runs into CeeJaey and picks up the frag onto Cubone. Not the frag that he would have wanted, but he will take it. He throws the low out in chat, and JackeyLegs is now coming in for a bomb, and again a clean bomb picks up CeeJaey with the rockets. Oppai cannot get anything going that they would like.
No, it seems every time they get a sniffing of an advantage, whether it be Uber or player, something happens. Unforgiven, though, doing his best to try and give his team a chance, getting the backstab onto Jorge. So now CeeJaey will have an Uber advantage, starts healing. Now Viethoofd with a nice reflect pipe into the face of Murphy. So now they're starting to get some momentum here. Nutricula getting a kill onto Proki. So some important players down for SDCK. There is an Uber advantage. It's about 30% actually, CeeJaey over Jorge. He's running the crits as well, so this could come into play. Maybe they just need to switch things up, change the pace of the game a little bit. SDCK are now the ones to have to try and show what they're doing. They're a minute ahead in terms of time, but they actually have to be the ones to force the issue now.
Really unusual positioning with Oppai opted to play from their ruins, while SDCK just grouped up in that Pool Room. So it was difficult for SDCK to get any real damage down, and they didn't decide to go for the cap, which was open for quite a while. They only get a little bit of cap time, and the crits is now going to come up. Devi's looking for something, doesn't see what he would like. Gets Yahoo now going towards Oppai. Can he find him? He does find him with a crits pipe. Will they be able to keep CeeJaey alive now? Devi and Leaf coming down, Jackie Legs coming in and landing perfectly on CeeJaey again.
Yeah, it's just been constant from Kami or Oppai, but it just shows that all it takes is one team fight for it to go completely opposite way. Unforgiven has been doing a huge amount of work for his team, just getting crucial picks all the time and just giving his team an opportunity to go into a team fight with the right players down. But Mezzo takes down Nutricooler, no sniper now, and that's going to give Proki a lot of space, which he's utilizing just to sniper. And SDCK will manage to recap the point before they lose the lead. Jackie Legs with another kill onto CeeJaey.
That was an absolute super nuke. Went miles in the air, lands perfectly. I think that must have been synced rockets, but picking CeeJaey up again is his absolute bullying coming out from Jackie Legs.
I think his head must have scraped the skybox there. He was so high, and just, AC 130 as many rockets as you can before you hit the ground. But Jorge did die there, and he's actually been pretty much a slaughter. Only 2 players left alive for SDCK. So coming Oppai now with a really good opportunity to get a kill. Jackie Legs just jumping in the air, actually almost gets CeeJaey. Goes down to 36 HP, gets a sandwich yeeted at him by Leif, trying to keep the medic alive a little bit longer. They do have an advantage now, and they're not that far behind it. It's about 40 seconds, so if they win this team fight, this could go in the way of Kami or Oppai.
Yeah, it's the crit screen once more for CeeJaey. It's coming up towards 85% at the moment. Murphy just trying to get some damage, putting a lot of damage into the ballroom from across the point, but the crits is going to come up shortly for CeeJaey. V-Clocks and Twap King both going quite aggressive in behind, just opening up space. It's going to try to be the laser beam coming out, but they don't get what they would like. Now Karik is forced to try and throw some crit shotgun shells around, but the crits really not what you'd want from Kami or Oppai, and the players from SDCK are going to flood back onto the point. So many picks in their favour. CeeJaey going down to Clark, and with just 20 seconds left and a full Uber advantage for Jorge, it's backs against the wall completely.
Yeah, they win that fight, they get the cap without losing any players. 5 seconds to go, they need to get on the point. I'm seeing a lot of kills going the other way. Twap King and V-Clocks are getting behind and actually getting some downtime, but Proki and Viljak and Mezzo, everybody's there just getting kills, and it will go the way of SDCK 3-0. They will take their opponent's map pick, and they take the entire series 2-0, booking their route all the way to the grand final.
Kami or Oppai, they could be happy with how they played. They certainly, on the first map at least, it was a serious contest, and even at times on that second map, they had their moments. They did pretty well.
Taking a look at the rest of the stats on the looks, again, it's Mezzo with the top frag, 23 kills to 9 deaths, 565 DPM. Getting a ton of damage again, just like he did. Over 500 DPM on both maps. Not too bad at all. But SDCK proving to themselves and to everybody else that they are still the top dogs. They're the team to be beaten, and taking their place in the grand final, which will be next week. They'll be playing up against, I believe, Gimme opponent, a team that has graced many a UGC final. So we'll have to see how that happens live on Critscast next week. Who will be winning Platinum? Will it be SDCK again, or will Gimme opponent be able to try and overtake them? If you want to know when we go live, then you can always follow us on Twitch. You can follow us on Twitter, join our Discord, or the various social medias where we say when we are live covering different aspects of Highlander and Sixes and other TF2 content. You can also support us by subbing on Twitch or by donating to our Patreon. You can also support us by buying some of the cool merch.critscast.com, where you can just you can buy some stuff, and again, all that money goes to supporting the people who try and bring these games to you. But I've been CeeJaey, joined by Dave on the mic and Wiethoofd on the production. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Hi, old beaver! Away!